We are about to start. This is Robot Nuke. Now let's hear it for the man, the myth and the legend in his own head, Eric Nuke Hudson.
Okay, we are here for Sunday night, day 14. 2 weeks done with this. Ain't gonna lie, I'm not feeling too good right now, but you know what? I have to complete a challenge, and we're going for 30 days straight of live streaming every night. As always, you got your comments down there. If you want to have a question for me, go ahead and ask it, and I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. If you're watching on the replay, leave some comments, and I'll try to answer them as well. So let's go ahead and get into it, even with I don't know what's wrong with me. Started last night, but oops, hold on one second here. Let me bring this up. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. So last 7 days, 905 came on the market, 200 back on market. That's not a great thing because back on market means it went under contract and failed. Price decreases 452, price increases 198. I'm dealing with a situation right now where you can kind of see this a little bit, and I've talked about it before. It's a solar incident issue, and sellers are like, if we pay off the solar, we need to raise the price. It doesn't always work that way. We're gonna have to see what happens. I should have received. Matter of fact, I should check again just to be sure. Should have received a response by now. No response. Yeah, so probably need to reach out to the agent, figure out what's going on. Solar, we talked about it yesterday. Yes, it does add some value if you purchase the solar and wrote a check for it, or pay it off at closing or something like that. But that was based on a very dubious study by Zillow. 4.1% for owned solar. Everything else is nothing or possibly taken away. Under contract show 369, under contract no show 572. 656 sold. I would have wanted to see a little bit more of that. Expired 65. Temp off market 33. Withdrawals 150. Conditional 62. Coming soons are 89. I mean, we're kind of about 10% of the new listings. Contingent on sale, that is actually up a little bit. So these are people who usually have a house to sell. That's a new status they gave us. So what I want to do today is I want to go in, and only when I'm doing a live stream is this dog do something. So we are 2 weeks into the year, which means we actually have some fairly decent numbers on where the market is headed. So let's go ahead and get in there. And I'm going to keep it to Las Vegas North, Las Vegas and Henderson. I know the MLS does something different. So far, of all housing type, 1,102 have sold. Let's go ahead and break into it. Condos. We had, let's see, median price of 255, and the list price was 260. So people still are not, even with multiple offers, not paying over. The average 297 compared to 306. And you know what? I'm going to talk about multiple offers for just a second. Here's a thing that I've noticed, and I ran across this several times, where the agent says, when you're going out to see the house, there are no offers, and all of a sudden they got 20 offers. I sometimes think they have 20 offers to begin with, or they're lying. I did one of my market updates where I talked about this seller where we went out to see the house, and before we went to see the house, always check. At least I try to always check. They said no offers. Then all of a sudden, when we're ready to put an offer in, it's multiple offers. Then I get back and it's like, my client's not interested in doing this. We thought there were no offers before we went out. Then all of a sudden her story changed, where it was like, you should still submit an offer, because she was lying. And you're not supposed to lie in real estate. And that's the problem. Everybody, they worry about real estate agents and their truthfulness, which, let's be honest, isn't a great reputation. It's below used car salesmen, except for when your real estate agent lies for you. Remember, I had this listing out in Centennial Hills, and this agent calls me up and she's like, my clients really want this house. They're VA buyers. My client was a veteran, and this is the offer I'm making is like all they can accept. You think you can talk to your client, blah, 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 blah. And they have no other money. I talked to my client about it, and this is why these things are done in writing. The client was like, okay, I'll do it, since they're a veteran and her husband was a veteran. Reach out to them. It's like, yeah, they're going to do it, or she's going to do it. And she's like, nah, they bought a house in Green Valley for $100,000 more. Yeah, that's typical. Everybody's lying in this business. So let's go on back here. Remember to leave those questions if you have them on the replay. Look on down there, and oops, yep, here we go. So let's go ahead and take a look at the manufactured homes. I need somebody to tell me if people are really interested in these, because I don't want to sit there putting them out there. So 249.2 is the median. So yeah, and they're actually, the median is actually higher than the average. And for some odd reason, the median sold for more than the list price when the other classes are not. So let's see. Let's get on back to the single family houses. 863 of them sold. That's interesting. So far for the first 2 weeks, it's 465, 595 for the average. Both of them below the list price. But here's the thing. And I did this for end of month for Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Henderson. It was actually 470. So the price has actually kind of gone down a little bit for the first 2 weeks, which is interesting. So I'm going to look at that in just a second. I just want to finish this up with townhomes. There we go. So 88 sold. The results. 350. Let's just call it 355. Still under 366 for the average. Under, not too much of a spread there. And I have got to see what's going on with the single family homes. So we're going to just go back to single family. We're going to get rid of Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Henderson. So in the MLS catchment area, we have 912. Let's go into those results. $460. It's down 5,000 also. And the actual numbers from the MLS at the end of the month was 465. There goes something. 465. So yeah, looks like we've had a nice little level off and possibly a slight decrease in the prices. So that is so interesting. 15 days on market. Let's compare that against, going to add that back in for Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Henderson. 14. So the average is 31. The median is, I feel like an idiot. I wasn't sharing my screen here. So 465 is the median right now. 14 days, 31 days for the average. So the market is actually starting to kind of peak over a little bit, which is interesting going into spring. I actually would have expected at least be another, 5,000 above, and it's not. So that's kind of blown me away. So let's go ahead and get into this. We're going to go a little deeper here just for a second. This way I can half prepare for the big video I need to do. For those that have sold so far, let's just get into some results and see. Let's see here. We're going to go into looking for the sold terms. So we'll start with cash. Of those, 314 were cash. So we're looking at still about 30% math and public. Conventional. Not too much more than cash. Let's see what's going on with FHA. 186. And of course, my favorite VA. And we're looking at 96. So just for those of you who ask, because someone asked that question one day, can they find out, what sold for what? So this is across all categories. And let me take that out. So 1102. So pretty close to saying 10% of, if you use whatever. So like the VA was close to 10% and rallied about 9, 8.5. So that's pretty good. Okay. I'm not entertaining tonight. I can tell everyone's left. I actually had up to 4 people here. So it must be Sunday. They're like, I've had enough. I have no one on live stream on Instagram. So we're gonna have to punch these up. So we're gonna have to make some changes for tomorrow then, because nobody wants to be here. Well, there's nobody here to ask any questions. I wish they were, because this is just me chilling out again. For the experiment so far, I'm not too happy with the results. But I have to complete it because that's just in me. I held off on doing my regular videos for a couple of weeks here, but I'm going to start back doing regular videos plus these. Just wanted to see what kind of questions people were asking and have some kind of feedback from, let's see here. On the last one, appreciate the info on solar. Oh, okay. Somebody's asked a question about rolling the solar into your loan on a new build. You have to see some of the new builds, not many, are actually putting solar on now. So it's actually part of the house. So it rolls into the loan. As far as trying to roll it into the loan, when you buy a house, most of them are barely appraising. So it's probably not going to work. Not saying never. I would talk to the builder and see if they have an arrangement with the solar company. I'm trying to remember the one company that is doing it right now, or it's like a couple of builders. But the ones who are not, I would actually ask the question and see if they had something for you to roll it into the loan. If not, like we talked about the 4 types, buying it outright, buying it on a loan, leasing and PPA. Buying it outright is the best. First of all, you save a bunch of money. I didn't cover this one yesterday. You actually save a whole bunch of money when you buy it outright, because remember those service fees I talked about, because that's what got all these bankers into it. And that's why you're seeing all this solar and they're pushing so hard. So literally, like if you bought a $15,000, I mean, I'm sorry, not 15, let's say a 25,000, let's make it 30, a $30,000 solar setup, they're going to tack 12 to $15,000 in service fees on unless you pay cash. So all these talks about getting the refund from the federal government and everything, yeah, great. You're getting 30% back from the federal government after they'd attack 12 to $15,000 in fees on. Oh, by the way, when you do it on a loan, again, you have to actually give that back to the solar company. Those numbers they gave you are bogus. You know, the little parts they kind of hide. You know, it's like they're playing a little shell game. So not only do they tack all this money on there, you have to turn over that that money to them from the federal government. Makes it real great for you, huh? So, oh, by the way, but let's say you have to turn it over to them. It's not like you just sign it over to them. You need to write a check for it. So you actually have to do your taxes, take the whatever you can get that year from the rebates, and you have to write a check. So let's say you owed, we're going to make it up, $10,000 in taxes. Well, you get that $15,000 credit. You can only use 10,000. It's not a refundable credit. So you're like, yay, I don't have to pay taxes this year. You then have to write a check to the solar company. These are the things they're not telling you up front. And I feel guilty by not putting that video out because, I mean, I don't care where I go in this city, I see more solar on the roof. I have nothing against solar. I'm not a hater. I would love to put it on my own house. If I had the money tomorrow to go and write a check for $35,000, I would. But I already know what the reality is. And the reality is the solar is expensive for what you get. So let's say I paid 35,000, get a 30%, you know, I could do it over a year or two because it's non-refundable. I now have a thing that I paid, you know, 35,000. Yeah, you can say it's net 25 or whatever. Okay, it's net 25,000. How long will it take me to recoup that 25,000? Years. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm going to share my screen for just a second. We're just going to use that as an example. We're going to use the 25,000. We're going to be so fair to them. It's not even going to be funny. Now we're going to divide this out by your electricity costs minus your service fee. So let's say electricity was $200 a month. You got to pay about $15 in service fees. So that makes it about $185. It's going to take you 135 months to break even. And of course, they're going to be using, hold on, let's divide that. Let's divide that by 12. 11 years. 11 years. Now, of course, they're going to use the argument that's going to make it look even better. Their argument is, well, electricity is just going to keep going up. And, you know, the amount you're saving is actually going up. So you'll actually pay it off sooner. You may. I don't know. I'm serious. I don't know. I don't know what electricity is going to be in 5 years, 10 years. I do know it is going up. It's got a lot of people pissed off. So that's what they're selling right now, how electricity is going up. You know what? They've been saying that since I moved here, literally, since I bought my house. They've been saying that, oh, you should get solar because the electricity is just going to keep going up and it's projected to be this amount. Let me tell you, after over a decade, up until the recent increases, my bill's pretty much been the same for over a decade. So if I rely on that, so are the rates going up? I heard that rates may actually be coming down. I don't know. So I put a lot of I don't knows in there because I don't know. They talk a lot of certainty of things that are incorrect. And that's an issue I have. And it's probably the entire reason nobody trusts this entire business. You don't trust real estate agents. You don't trust lenders. Um, I don't know. I think I talked about it because it's going to be a big part of a video I'm working on, because I now have to get back into the videos. Uh, I call it the Bibble Babble BS. Like with that lender, I did talk about it. I'm calling to ask if my client needs closing costs, which she says he needs. How much are your fees? So I can calculate that to ask it on an offer. And all she's talking about is, "Oh, I worked with him for so long, getting his credit ready." That's cool. What are your fees? Never told me their fees, just bibble babble BS. And I'm afraid some realtor's going to come along and switch them over to their lender. And I worked so hard for over a year. Okay, cool. What are your fees? Why is she not telling me her fees? Because it was bibble babble BS. And she didn't want to tell me that they were high. So anyway, I got my 20 minutes in. I don't have any questions. If you're watching on the replay, uh, just ask a question and I'll answer it, kind of like I just did from yesterday's. If you need anything real estate related, call, text, email. My information will be below along with my calendar link. Always use the calendar link as the first option, please, for multiple reasons, including the fact that you may call and I could be driving in a car going to show a house, or in the house showing it, or with the seller or somebody else, or in the class. I learned all this because I'm in classes all the time learning. Like I said, I literally did 9 hours of education on solar to just blow my hair back. It's like, when you finish this stuff, it's like, this is really what's going on? People don't know this stuff. Really? OMG. So anyway, let's OMG it. Like my video, subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow my channel, of course, and trying to help you. Ask me the questions. I'll try to get you the answers, okay? See you guys later.